be more centered. Welcome,
Hi.
babes. Wow. Look who's glowing today. She looks tan, bronzed, honey.
Wow.
It's all that Diet Coke she's been bathing in since she got back.
She got
Since
back.
I got back.
That's what happens. You're supposed to eat 3 carrots a day to get like an orangey glow and drink 8 Diet Cokes a day to get that like brown sun-kissed
She had to
glow.
get in that IV as soon as she landed.
And don't even get me started as soon as I landed.
Ooh.
As soon as I landed in Atlanta, it's not a quick jaunt to a Diet Coke. It's going through customs, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, and so this is just for anyone that, like me, that waits until their early 20s to travel internationally.
Early.
So
Yeah.
we had to, when we landed from the Dominican Republic into Atlanta, we had to go through customs, do the song and dance. Then we have to go pick up our bags.
Yep.
You got to pick up your bags and then
Mhm.
just hand them to someone else.
Yeah.
It's a whole
Yeah.
scam. It's a whole scam. You literally pick them up. You walk down a hall and they go, put your bags here.
Put your bag back in.
Yeah, and then you go through security again. Like, what the hell am I gonna do between
The going through
customs and
security
there?
again has always irked me because then it's like you have to finish your water.
Yes.
Like, what if you like
Oh.
that's the thing. Like you'll still have to dump all of your liquids.
Casey
even though...
Casey wouldn't know what having to finish her water is like.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
she's like, I've
Never
heard
been
of
experienced
I've only
little.
heard of it, but
Oh, your little your
I
little
drink
Delta
my little
Comfort
glass
bottle.
of water every meal. Whenever the server would pour my water for me, and then
Mhm.
I'd say
The server,
the server,
the
then I-
the on-flight server.
the
Oh
bartender.
no,
in
I'm
the
talking
plane.
about
In Punta
in the
Cana.
Dominican.
Oh.
Yeah.
The in-air server.
The in
That's what they
the
like to be
in-air
called.
server said, "You want some snacks? Cause here, have some sun chips." But yeah. So then once I finally get through all that, I'm like, I'm getting my McDonald's Diet Coke. I go to McDonald's. I place my mobile order. I go up to pick it up, and she goes, "Honey, we added Diet Coke. We got Coke Zero though." I'm like,
Oh my god.
I might as well just be back in the damn Dominican Republic.
Wow, what a hot start to this episode. Hi everyone.
hot.
Welcome to
Welcome back.
Welcome to
Casey.
Yes.
Did you the group
Yes.
chat? Casey is back.
I'm
And
back,
she
and I've
is
got a
alive
list
to tell
of
the tale.
grievances.
So today we're doing a down low on the DR, honey.
Ooh. Love that.
Rosebuds and thorns.
Rosebuds and thorns
Highs
about your
and
trip.
lows.
Highs and lows.
What are the other things?
That's it. Those are the only
that's
things.
all.
No, yeah,
Peaks and valleys.
yeah.
Go on.
I will say it's definitely just a lot. It's a lot of telling people, like at the airport, everyone's just out to like try and help you with your bags and stuff. It's like they want a tip or whatever, but it's like I can do this on my own.
Mhm.
Like once you get there and when we pulled back into the airport to leave, one of them met us at our like van and like immediately grabbed all of our bags from us and was pushing us through, and Joe's like, "Do you have any like tipping money left?" And I had a 10. So this fool got a 10. He got my last $10 bill from me.
Man.
Cause I'll tell you why we lost all our tipping money.
Why?
Well, folks,
Joe
let's just
gambled it away. He saw a 3-card Monty on the.
Did he really?
let's just
Let's
paint the
dive
picture for you guys.
Oh dear.
The
So-
one-armed bandit strikes again.
So, as you know, Dominican Republic, all inclusives, you stay at your resort. You don't leave the resort.
Mhm.
You've got beautiful pools. You've got a nice like little like beach area that's like your beach area. But then there's people that walk along the beach and and try and sell you stuff. And I bought some janky little earrings for $10. They do whatever. So this woman comes by and she says, "I'll do a massage for $40." And Joe had been wanting a massage.
I think I remember this on the story because I
Yeah,
saw
on the
you.
stories.
How much was a massage at your resort?
$169
For an hour?
for 30 minutes.
Oh my god!
Crooks. That's
So-
ridiculous.
So that's why he was intrigued by this $40 massage. And she's like, 1 hour, $40. And so
1
then-
hour?
Yeah. So she's like, you'll see him in an hour. So he leaves with her. He doesn't have his phone. He doesn't have any money on him because we go, oh, well, he doesn't have any money with him. We'll have to go get it.
So
And she
he'll
goes,
be
"No."
fine, girl. He could have been skinned alive, and you
Oh
would have
my
not
God.
known.
Flayed.
That's what
That's
when I
how
was
it
taking that
starts.
video. When I was taking that video of him walking away, I said, I'm
You're like,
never
this-
going to see this man
this
again.
This is
the
what I'm
last
showing
time
to
you
the
see him.
police after
Yes.
in a couple
Mhm.
hours.
Uh-huh.
This
It
will be
was
running
the
on
one-
Nancy Grace in about 3
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's gone a little bit more than an hour. Like I took that video at 12:57 p.m. and they
She
arrived
knew.
back. I like it was like my timestamp.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
arrived back at 2:09. So
Just a little
so if
past
it-
an hour.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit past an hour.
Who knows where her little hut was?
Who knows
Yeah.
where this damn hut
Right.
was? Yeah. So while he was gone, I went and got the $40 out plus 10 extra dollars as a tip. So I've got the money ready for him because we have all our money in our little safe in our room, blah blah blah. So I go get the money out and I have it out ready and he starts walking back towards me
Oh no.
and he's like I have to go to the room. I go, oh, I already have the money. I was like, I have 40 plus 10 if you want to give her a tip. He's like, it's more than that. He's like, I have to go back to the room. He doesn't say anything else to me.
He's embarrassed. That's why.
He's embarrassed.
Yes,
What
he is.
What are these extra things that he paid for?
So-
Casey? That's my
So he
Oh.
leaves. So he leaves, and he's gone for an hour.
Oh my god!
I'm
What do
sitting
you
there.
mean he's gone for an hour?
I'm sitting there, and 20 minutes go by. I'm like, huh, that's weird. 30 minutes go by. That's weird. And I'm still sitting there, and in this time, his we have the front beach spot because his parents every day were stocking the chairs and getting the front beach spot. So in this time, his mom has come by, his dad has come by, his brothers have come by, everyone has peppered in and out, and I'm just sitting there waiting for him to come back. And it's it's been 40 minutes and he comes back. And he comes back. And so while he was gone, the woman comes up to me and she says, "So do you want a massage now?" And I said, "No." And then I confronted her. I go, he says he owes you more than $40. What happened? And she goes, "Well, we did 90-minute massage." And I go, "He hasn't been gone 90 minutes." I go, "I have a video of you two leaving at 12:57. So it has been 1 hour and 10 minutes." And she goes, no. She's like, "Mira, mira," look here. And she writes in the sand and says
Not
hour
a message in the sand.
1 hour equals 50 minutes. And I'm like, huh? I go, no, that's not right. And she said, "So we did 90." And I'm like, it hasn't been 90 minutes. The time does not change. And she's like, "Yes, it is, blah blah blah."
Even
said,
if she's saying an hour is 50 minutes, which is inherently untrue, fine.
Yes.
You're still saying the words 90 minutes.
90,
That's still
yes.
that's still the number of minutes, and that's
Yes. So I'm like, duh, and so I'm like, okay, whatever, just don't talk to me. Like, and I make her leave. And so she stands there and she's waiting forever. And now it's been 40 minutes and Joe comes back and he's like, "Hey, do you have your debit card with you? Because my card's not letting me get out money." Because he didn't even bring his debit card because he was like, like I don't want like to get my money stolen, blah blah blah. So we had $200 in tipping money, and then I had gotten out $200 to pay for our transport there and back. So we had to do it in cash, and the transport was like $60 each way. So I had $200 in cash myself. So I'm like, "Babe, I have cash. Like, I have the cash. Yes, I'll have to like go pull out money later, but I'm like, how much do you fucking owe her?" And he was like, 180. And I'm like, "What?" And I'm so mad. I'm so mad. And then I'm like, "What the fuck happened?" And he's like, "It's a scam, babe. It's a scam." And then he's like, "And they made me buy this." Like he had something in his pocket. He had these like cigars in his pocket that they made him buy. And then
Oh no.
he's like, "Well, I need money. I need to if we can." I go, "Why didn't you tell me this before you left 40 minutes ago? Because I had money in the safe that you could have just got and we could have figured it out
Right.
later." So now we've wasted an hour. Then I'm like, "Well, fuck this. We've wasted an hour of this woman's
Oh, I would
time."
have
I mean,
been livid.
like, and so we go back to the room. I get the cash, whatever. We get it all sorted out. There goes all of our like fives and tipping money, but then we have enough to pay this woman. And at this point, and she's just stood on the beach for a full hour because she's not leaving without her money.
$180. Yeah, I would be too,
That's
girl.
her fucking week. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like
Oh
like
my
she can go
God.
home after this. So, and I'm so mad. I'm just so frustrated and mad, and it's just one of these things of like where I get annoyed by people like taking advantage of nice
Mhm.
little Joe, and then he gives her the money or whatever, and he comes back and I'm like crying because I'm like so hormonal and like frustrated because I've been sitting there for an hour waiting for him. Like,
Waiting for you
one,
had
I was
no
waiting
idea
for him
what
to come
happened.
back,
Yeah.
hoping that he would fucking come back.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then he's gone for another 45 minutes and I'm like
Yeah, without saying anything to
without
you.
saying anything to
Yeah.
me, without
Like, why
saying
wouldn't
like
he have at
I'm
least texted you while he was like, would have been like, "Are you
yes,
okay? Are you being sold to someone?"
Yeah.
Like,
right,
that is a
right,
it is
like
a legitimate concern.
yeah. And like and so and his dad and like when he was gone, I was like telling his parents, I was like, I don't know, I was like, I'm very frustrated with him at the moment because um yeah, because you know, they got him to spend more money and like his parents are really nice. Like his dad's like, "Well, sometimes you spend more money on
Okay.
vacation than you expected to." Like
Yeah.
they're very nice.
Yeah.
But like I was just like so frustrated with him and like he ended even like I remember asking him later, I was like, "What happened to the cigars?" He was like, "I threw them away." He was like, "I was just so embarrassed and like mad that I threw them away." And like at the end of the day, can he afford $180 massage? Yes, he can. Or how I didn't ask questions about what happened in the massage. I don't
Yeah.
think it was that. But you know, and it's fine and we got it all figured out. But I'm just like it was crazy. And I was just like so like mad for most of the day about it. And it was like his family's last full day there. So it was very awkward for a while. And we had to like ask his parents for for money just to get home. Just
Yeah.
because I didn't want to like it was basically like I just needed $40 to like um to have enough to
It
pay
all
the
came back to
transport.
$40. It's
It all
full
came back to
circle.
$40.
Wow.
But yeah, but and then like his brother was like, "Man, if you leave the beach property, if you leave like the resort property, they can like pull a gun on you. They could do whatever
Yep,
they
they
want to
Yeah.
you."
Yeah.
a
Literally.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like at this point you should have just paid the 169 for the
Right.
At the hotel.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
at the hotel, but
The
yes.
above board, yeah,
The
massage.
brand new spa
But yeah, but
on
I
property.
watched that woman. That woman just stood for an hour waiting for her money. And I'm like, "Well, I guess, you earned it. You
You
earned
got
it,
it.
babe." You
One
gotta
scammer to another. You did it,
One
girl.
scammer to another.
Bamboozled.
And she
Wow.
had this blue beanie on that just said the word boy in like Comic Sans. It was so weird.
Not
Yeah.
Comic Sans.
It was like it was this blue beanie and in Comic Sans in all caps it just says boy. And I'm
And
like,
you can now
"Hmm,
purchase it on the Did You Read the Group Chat merchandise.
Yeah.
merch.
Uh-huh.
new
Yeah.
merch."
You two can have
You
the.
too.
You two
You
can
two can
scam
dress as
$189
the
boyfriend.
scammer from Joe and Casey's Dominican Republic trip for Halloween.
Man.
But that was the only real drama. It was the damn
The damn massage.
the damn
And here I
massage.
thought you were just pissed about the Diet Coke situation, and that was even
So much more.
so
No.
much more.
I got over. I was training, y'all. I was training for the DR. I started on Miss Coke Zero early.
Oh
It's
my
true.
Wow.
God.
You were
So
adapting.
and what I learned is that in the Dominican Republic they just call it Diet Coke. Coke Zero is just called Diet
Oh,
Coke.
sure.
Mhm.
Like all the people
makes
just call it Diet because every time I tried to like say the anything else they were like huh, and I'm just like Diet.
Diet
They're like
Coke,
oh
just
yeah
Diet.
Diet Coke.
They never understood what club soda was. So anytime I ordered like a vodka soda or a tequila club soda, who knows what I was getting? I would get water, Sprite. I don't even know what else. It tasted different every single time. I think there was like one time like this is club soda. Great. And that was it.
Yeah.
One
Wow.
time.
It's very like hit or miss sometimes with some of the drinks. It's like they hand you something you're like, "Oh, that's not what I ordered, but all right." Like but it was fine. Draculaura got to go.
I know.
Casey, when you posted your Monster High doll on poolside, I literally yelled. I was like, she did not bring this motherfucking doll through customs to the Dominican
customs.
Republic.
In
Yeah,
a
sure.
gallon Ziploc bag
I can't.
so that she could
Oh,
keep
it
all
was so
her
good.
accoutrements, on.
Yeah, she had a lot of accessories.
She had a great time.
Man.
I'm scrolling through the stories right now to show Adam.
And she did a post
Oh,
of
okay.
on
She's
this
not on that.
face.
She's not
She
on
was
the
on- I
close
think she
friends
was on-
highlights yet.
Yeah, I think she was. I don't know where she was, but she made it to my post. My
I mean, she's the new Flat Stanley.
she's the new Flat Stanley. She was
Basically.
dressed for the Dominican. She had her little like swimsuit on, her little
hat, her fun
sarong, her hat.
Yes.
Oh yeah, my packable hat was clutch. There she is. But now go back to the first photo and
Go to
then
the
back
first
to
photo.
The comparison.
Yes, I said I
Dracumama,
commented, and I said the transition of the
Draculaura.
first two photos make it looks like you transformed into the Monster High doll.
Everyone,
This is Casey.
I've achieved my lifelong dream of transforming.
Casey's in the sequel of Life Size, actually. That's what's
Yeah.
going
But
on
it's
here.
backwards. She
Wow.
goes
Yeah.
into doll world. Wow.
Man.
There's
And
the
you rented a
fam.
car too. Wow.
Wow. I wonder why nobody decided to wear a print on vacation.
Casey had some good newly
I had some good
pics.
newly pics. Oh yeah, you gotta
Newly
go
is
to
our
the end of these
rental
photos
company.
because there's a couple more Draculaura.
I didn't want to
Pics.
just, show people.
There's the pool.
Sunbathing.
This is
Oh
the
my God,
pool.
her little cutouts of her hat are bats.
It's important to get a little sun,
She also
Some
carried
vitamin
SPF
C.
5000. My girl.
My girl. That
She's
is
just having
so
fun in the
Yes. We love a little
The fact that there
poolside
are
girly.
Casey says, "Oh, you can do more than 10 photos on a carousel now." Bet.
Honey.
Okay, let's put all the Monster High
Honey.
dolls.
All the
Amazed.
Monster High.
Honey.
She didn't come out until his family left, though.
She was shy. She wasn't ready to
Uh-huh,
be
She's
she
such an
was
introvert.
shy.
She's
Yeah.
very introverted. Yeah.
Although
yes.
I did become Instagram friends with Joe's sister-in-law. So
Ooh.
She
So
saw
it.
and was like, "Oh,
she's seen.
I didn't see that friend."
Oh. But yeah, this is where we hung out every day at the pool. I called it the old people pool because all of the young people were
So
at the pool that was
So
closer
the
to
the
beach.
pool is not where this happened. It was the beach where
No,
this
it
happened.
was
Okay.
beach. It was
Beach. It was
beach.
beach.
Public prop.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, but it was,
Wow.
there was this
Wow.
drunk old woman that every day she would tell us that she was the ambassador of the pool. She was blitzed by 11
Oh, one of
o'clock,
those.
and then she'd
Sure.
go back to her room for a nap after finding her husband.
It's Miranda in
Miranda.
10,
I was gonna
15
say
years. Yeah.
that's what we called
That's-
Lindsay on our vacation.
That's
Just
like Miranda on a
kidding.
cruise, girl. Come on.
I'm a cruise ambassador.
Yes, I am the
Everybody knows
ambassador of this
me.
cruise.
I've got to collect my medals for the trivia.
going trivia at 2 p.m. Still What's the drink of the day? So yeah.
So yeah.
Were you so what was your alcoholic beverage of choice? This was your first
Oh.
all inclusive. So what were you drinking? Because
What
I'll
was
tell
I
you, I can
drinking?
tell you my schedule of drinks at an all inclusive.
Okay. So sometimes I'd start with a pina colada, start the day off right.
That's the thing. You start with a
Piña.
frozen
Piña.
drink. Yeah.
Start with
Mhm.
the frozen, and then I would mostly
And
go to
that's Spanish for those of you who don't speak Spanish. That's Spanish for pina colada. So
yeah.
just so everybody knows.
Thank you, Adam.
Mhm.
Gracias. I can't get over anytime anyone did anything for you. Gracias. Just saying gracias.
Gracias.
That's how it works in English too. You say thank you when someone does something
oh.
for
Well, when
you.
No, here you just say, "I'll take what's mine." Thank you.
That's how it works. I don't know. Wow. That's so crazy.
Yeah, but no, but I did yesterday at McDonald's. The woman, I was needing to get my cup from the woman, and when she gave it to me, I said gracias.
Gracias. That is giving.
Gracias.
You know what that's giving? That's giving Adam after the honeymoon, going to Epcot, getting a piece of bread at the boulangerie, and being like, merci, merci,
Merci beaucoup.
merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. So, but but after the pina coladas, I would drink a Malibu and Diet.
You're like, I'm getting
Sure.
to work. This is now my 9 to 5. This is working
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah,
Right.
it was easy to drink.
Yeah.
It's just that was the girl.
Love that.
But that was mostly
was the
that's
girl.
mostly because
I'm
I would
not a
drink some
pina
beers.
colada girl. I'm a Presidente. Is that what the beer is?
Oh, I think so.
Miranda, are you a pineapple? I don't think you're a pineapple in general, are you?
I like a pineapple, but like it makes the sides of my tongue swell, so I may or may not
Yes.
be allergic.
My
Yeah,
for
I
me,
get really
it's
swollen.
sometimes. It's not all
Yeah.
the time, but I do get it sometimes.
So
Like
I
if I'm
can't do it a
eating just
lot.
like pineapple, like in a dish, like a pint,
Mhm.
like a fruit bowl. I'll
Mhm.
after a couple pineapples, I gotta stop.
See, I can't do a full pina colada, but I do a Miami Vice, and that's usually. You don't know what a Miami Vice is?
Don't
It's
do
a half
this.
pina colada, half strawberry daiquiri in a swirl.
Oh, like a frozen.
What is a
Um,
strawberry daiquiri? I've actually never had a strawberry daiquiri.
It is
Technically,
rum and like a strawberry smoothie, essentially. Like a
oh, it's just like strawberry puree, basically.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and
okay.
daiquiri
And ice.
and rum.
rum
Rum punch.
Rum punch.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but-
that's Miami Vice are my girls. That's how
I did try
What's
one of
the flavor that Mary Poppins medicine tastes like? Rum punch.
rum punch.
That's Miranda at trivia.
That's Miranda at trivia.
That's me. That's me at trivia. That's how I win all my medals.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be.
I did
tall.
try the cranberry pineapple in Malibu.
Oh, Lindsay's drink.
And that was good, but it's too much juice.
It's so much. I didn't even try it. I was like, girly pop, this is a lot.
This
Malibu
is
rum.
Malibu's already so
Malibu, that was like before I even was drinking. That was what I was drinking.
Yeah.
Do you know,
Mhm.
still to this day, my small town family, that is their drink of choice, Malibu water.
what?
Malibu and water.
water.
That is what these small town girls are drinking at bars. Malibu water. Not vodka water and then you add your little Mio. Malibu water.
No Mio. Yes,
No
Mio. They'll
Mio.
still do.
I guess I don't know. Maybe they do have
But
either way, that's
Malibu's
what they're
already
ordering.
flavored. That's like you don't need
It's already
the
flavored.
You don't need it.
you don't need the
You
Mio.
don't need the Mio.
It's actually
I'm like-
technically cheaper because you don't have to buy the Mio then. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You're not
You
buying
just
the
run
$5
through
Mio.
Mio. Yeah.
How much Mio are you putting in your beverage?
It's a equal ratio, 50-50.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I read that somewhere. It says that
Adam,
on
what
the
if
bottle actually.
Adam? What if you added a little Malibu to your Crystal Lat? Would that be good?
Oh, babe, my fruit punch with some Malibu, babe, would hit so hard. I'm not kidding.
Wow. You're basically in Punta Cana
Yeah.
with that mixture.
Honey, I'm in the DR right now just thinking
Yes.
about it.
Wow.
Mhm.
I had to ask Casey at the airport on the way home. There are 2 terminals in the Punta Cana airport, and it's a lovely airport. It's really nice. They don't have a lot of offerings, but they've got like their Pizza Hut and a couple
Pizza Hut,
other
Taco Bell,
Wendy's,
Wendy's. Yes.
and then like a Dominican restaurant. And
Mhm.
you're like, but there are
And a
2
Chili's too.
identical terminals, and you have to walk, I am not kidding, a mile and a half to get to the second terminal. You have to walk so far that they have these standing seats along the way. Where did you see these, Casey?
I didn't notice these.
So there are standing seats along the way that are literally just metal bars that you can go and it will like
And then
slant
just-
a metal seat and you can rest there
Oh.
because it is that long of a walk between the terminals.
Wow.
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 Yeah. Because we were like gate 30 or something, or 29. And I think, yeah, we were over there with the other Deltas and
Delta work?
Delta work. Yep. And
Yep.
Yeah.
and it was just like Joe's like, yeah, we have to go. He's like, see, there's our plane over there, or there's the plane over there, and we got to walk all this way and then all this way to it. And I could talk about airports, y'all, for 40 hours. But
Y'all.
But the boarding of a Punta Cana plane, so they've got live jazz music playing. So any microphone is not actually helping anything because they have live music. I
Little
did
cutie.
see those and I didn't know what it was.
I love.
Wow.
Wow.
Demonstration.
Just a little girly seat for me.
I'm just a little pop squat. Don't mind me.
But the woman at the Delta gate is just standing at the end of like where you like scan your passport before you can walk through. She's just and at like not even like yelling. She's just like first class, and there's 80 people surrounded her in a mob. So it's just insane. Like there's no rhyme or reason for it.
Mm.
And so like and then I'm like, I guess we just go up there with the mob so we can try and hear her. And then we hear her say Comfort Plus. And so you kind of just like keep kind of inching forward as the mob comes and goes, kind of breathes in and out. And then of course, once we got on the plane, we're in these 2 seats that don't have any storage in front of them. Like you have to board, or you have to everything has to go above you.
Everything
Yeah,
up
everything
top.
has to go above. Yeah.
And I'm like two things back, 2 overheads back.
Oh man.
And it's so annoying.
That's why they get in line so early because they fight for that overhead bin space.
Yeah.
Is that where it's like the plane you go in and the plane could either go left or go right and
Left
you have
or
those
right.
2 seats right there?
That's
Jace, those
me
are
and
Jace's
Joe.
favorite seats. He will pick those every time.
See, on the plane there, Joe hated it because it was an older plane and those seats felt smaller. But on the plane back, it was a newer plane, and they felt a little bit bigger. Like it was nice. It was a nicer plane.
That's
So we
opposite
didn't-
than what you would think, actually. Because I feel like
Yeah.
all the newer planes are the ones where
They
I'm like,
squeeze everything in.
every
Cramming 'em.
seat is
Mhm.
tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, these are these 2 seats. So you're the first people off. the
Right.
plane, Which it'll come in handy. I might go off. So just y'all wait for that.
Just y'all
Just
wait.
y'all wait.
When we flew to France, you know how like on those really big international flights they have like sections of the aircraft. So we were at the front of the section, but like it was the third section back of the plane. So we also had like no storage space in between us. But that also meant like there was a little wall and I couldn't like push my legs out at all.
Ugh.
So then when I don't like getting up on a flight if I can help it. So I just
Same.
did 8 like straight hours in that position, and then when I
That-
got up and we landed in Paris, I was like, ah! My knees were so upset with me.
Upside.
I get that.
You
Yeah,
gotta
Jason
get up
gets up like
get
7
leg.
times, and he's like, "You haven't gotten up at all this flight." I'm like, "No."
Girl,
Yeah.
Jace gets up 7 times during
in
a movie.
girl.
Basically, No, Jason's like, that the bathroom right here. Okay, I'm gonna make sure it's good before we take off. Okay,
Mhm.
like I'm just making
The bathroom is Jace's.
Does it work?
It's his seat. That's the one he reserves.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
that's it. Meanwhile, I could not tell you the last time I had to I peed on a plane.
We all know my peeing on a plane story because
Oh.
I talked about it
Mhm.
on the pod.
Yeah,
I won't do that again.
No. Go back and listen to when was that?
It was the same episode as. It had to be the same episode as when he went to the wrong terminal, right?
No, it was
No, it
no.
was
That was
way
a set.
back.
No, different. No, it was
Don't
we were
worry,
coming
those are
back.
separate
back from
occasions.
Providence.
Coming back from Provincetown.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is like
Oh.
September of last
Okay.
year.
Well, Miranda, are you ready for your flight tomorrow at 6 a.m. or whatever?
I think my flight is at 5:55. The interesting thing, and it's like I like being out early. That means we get there at like noon, which still sucks because we still have like a 2.5 hour layover in Atlanta, which whatever. I have to do dining for a client tomorrow at 5. And so I'm
you
just
want
like,
to get there before and
I'm
then
just,
do it
yeah,
from the
like I
airport?
would like to, I would like to make sure I'm at the gate at 5 o'clock to
Yeah.
make sure that
On your
I
hot
can,
spot. Yeah.
on my hot spot on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Hot
And it's like,
spot
and
on
it's
her
like, it's a
laptop.
client who has the dining plan, and those always stress me out because like that's actually when
Hot spot on
dining
a
matters. You know what I
laptop.
mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, these damn flights, they board so early.
I know.
You gotta be there by 5.
You gotta be there.
My mom right before we started. What did he just do?
It
Are
sounded
you
like he was
okay?
about to throw up.
Is he
Reed.
okay? Don't throw up on the new couch.
Oh, did
I thought I just heard him push the thing off. That was so scary. Okay.
did you
My
get the
mom
new
called.
couch?
We got a new couch. We did.
wanna
You'll have
see
to.
it.
You'll have to see this week's. Nope.
Close friend.
Never mind. We are not releasing a video of that.
Oh.
We'll send you a photo
Okay.
because I'm too far away from the monitor right now to turn it. So my mom
Post it on
called.
Close Friends.
Sure.
Oh,
My mom
yeah.
called. I'll do it. I think I still
Wow.
have the login. My mom called right before the pod. Actually, she had called while I was taking a little nap after work from a big exhausting day. And so I called her back when I woke up, and she was like, "Oh, it's fine now. Don't worry." And I was like, "We're about what? You just said call me back when you can." And she was like, "Well, your Aunt Donna's coming into town, and she has a layover in Chicago, but her first flight ran late, so we thought she was gonna miss her next flight to South Bend. So we were gonna have you like take her for the night or whatever." And I was like, I would have had to be part of the decision for sure, because
For
first of
sure.
all, my Aunt Donna, who's older than my own mother, would not make it up these 3 flights of stairs. I can tell you right now.
Also, like, that's way more inconvenient than to just stay somewhere near the airport. You know what I
Right.
mean?
She's
You
to
would
be
have been
back
like, I
at the
will
airport
chip in
tomorrow.
$20
Sure.
for her to stay here.
Right. Anyway, that was a thing. But she was like, no, but she ended up making it. The luggage didn't, so the luggage will come tomorrow, I guess. And I was like, okay. Have a good night, Mom.
That would have been crazy. That's a my mom move. So I'm very shocked that your mom would do that. Okay,
yeah,
here we go.
that's.
I'm showing everyone the couch right now. There it is.
Oh.
Wow. Look at this setup.
Wow. I
How
do.
are you
I do
doing
like
this?
the dark color,
Yeah, it's a gray.
It's a charcoal.
a charcoal.
A charcoal gray.
And then you should
Love
tip
that.
the thing to show the rug, because the rug is cream with gray stripes.
cream with gray stripes.
Love that.
This is really advanced tipping.
Wow.
Wow. It's a tipping
Wow.
episode.
It's all about it's
All about the tip.
All about the
not
tips.
just the tip.
Not the hold the cone, hold the tip.
Hold the
Hold
tip.
the give the tip. Anyway.
Oh.
What?
Not bad.
Oh my
That's
god.
not safe for
bad.
Miranda.
I know. I'm not safe. Save me from myself.
Not safe for myself.
I'm frantically trying to get things done before tomorrow morning. But I think
And you're
I'm-
flying to
Adam, I'm
Floor,
going
Adam,
to
it's on
Orlando
the
for my
couch. He's running his
10K.
10K.
Oh, the 10K.
My 10K.
And the 10K is themed.
And the 10K is
Adam.
It's Carl Deli.
No.
It's up themed, isn't it?
Yes, but it's Russell. It's
Russell's
Specifically.
Russell's
Well, yeah,
running.
like he's the
You're
one
not-
on the
oh.
T and one on the metal. But no, Jason and I are going as Kevin from Up and the bar of chocolate.
Cute.
It's
I had to make-
chocolate.
It's
You have to
It's
do it. It's
chocolate.
chocolate.
Yeah. I will find that audio and I will do that. But
As long as
Yeah.
Universal Music Group hasn't,
hasn't
Blocked
hasn't
it
taken
from
it
TikTok.
away. Yeah. Oh my god. But no, apparently it's going to be Ian in the
He's
chat.
on the chat.
Hey,
That's so
Ian.
funny.
You have a good.
Wow.
Are you going as Kevin too? Are you running? Oh, we should meet up at the expo. Yeah, I just finished my hat yesterday. I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
give
how
you
I'm
tea
gonna
on
run in
why
a hat.
Ian is in this chat today.
Adam.
Because Ian Ian went live doing some Fortnite gaming, and RJ was like, haha, I'll be your moderator. So he is now Ian's moderator. So Ian
Oh.
feels a sense of obligation to support our endeavors now.
As he should.
As he should.
Period.
I wonder if I
Okay,
could find your Kevin costume on your Instagram, Ian. I think I could, because I remember it being a
Yeah, I
great
wanna-
costume.
I'll pull up my hat that I made yesterday, and then I'll pull up Jace's for everybody to see. This is my hat. So I don't know how I'm gonna
Cute.
fully run in that. And then this is the photo of the chocolate that we're going off of. This is the only photo of the chocolate
of
that
this
exists
chocolate.
in the Up universe. Okay.
Wait, let me see it. RJ, move the screen.
Did you
Oh,
watch?
okay.
You did a screenshot of the.
And then you.
He's
With
got
real
foil
aluminum
around
foil.
his waist.
Tucked in
He's
his
like-
little thing. So
He's gonna run
Yeah,
with foil
Will.
on.
he's
That's
well, and he
funny.
was like, it's fine, it's not a big deal. And I was like, okay, like he's like, oh, 6 miles, this is nothing. This is a fun run. Like, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be
Okay,
fighting for
shut
my
up.
fucking
Shut
life.
up,
but,
Jay.
all right,
Shut
like,
up,
Yeah.
Jay.
Grow up.
Stop.
up,
No
my
one
God.
cares. My God. Shut up.
But
Yeah, because
No,
I was gonna suggest getting one of those those foil looking racing
that's
blankets.
smart.
Is that our wedding?
You know.
And I don't even think he has. I don't even think he has those. He probably.
Because I mean, you usually throw them away at the you throw them on the
Yeah, that's a
ground
good point.
in the Epcot parking lot is what you do.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I've packed her. But it's like, look at how like it's going like so it goes so long. So like I I don't.
Here's Kim's.
That's
Kevin.
iconic.
Wow.
Kim ran in that Kevin costume. Oh my
No,
god.
I think this is just a Halloween party.
Oh, I was
And
gonna
I
say.
think that's
So
it's Ian in the back.
that's incredible. That is so good. Oh, you know what? And I would have asked to borrow that, but I'm pretty sure they changed the rules and like that's not going to be allowed.
Yes.
Oh my god, this is so good. Oh my god, that's such a good costume. Oh my god, that's iconic. Yeah, I'm going to need to borrow that at some point.
Ah,
But
I
wow.
see. I see what's going on here.
That's
I see.
that's
Got
so
it.
good.
So-
Oh
Look at her
man.
face in that picture.
Man. It's
That's so funny.
We had this
That's
running
great.
joke that Ian and Kim would always make Ian be like the bigger like character, even though it
Oh.
had nothing to do. Like they were in a pair, so it would be like, oh my god, we could be up. You could be the old guy, and I'm Kevin, the cute.
I love that. Oh man, that's good.
Ugh.
Yeah, they like changed the costume. So I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be like a million Kevins because it's up themed. But
I mean,
I'm
I
very
don't know.
proud of my little hat.
Our costumes.
Let us know if there's an alpha.
Oh, isn't
Ooh,
there-
that's
Isn't
good.
that one of the
Oh,
yeah?
Yeah, alpha. That's a fun one.
I wonder if I can find our old costume from our when Casey was famously Willy Wonka. I'm at the old D-Pod profile.
Look at that little French boy.
Look at these
at that.
twinks, bitch.
Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that damn.
Look at
twink.
Guys,
that.
look at
When
us.
we were doing
Aw.
free work.
Whatever. Y'all
Hey,
got
oh.
tip.
Look at you. Yeah, look at you advertising for the D-Pod. That's not free work. That's a trade.
That's a
mama.
collab.
Did you
honey.
say? Did you say tips? We got tips.
Remember, we were
It's all
we
about
were-
tips this
Tip?
episode.
tips,
It
tips,
is.
tips. Because
Just
we were
the tip.
we
Yeah,
had
name of it.
them. We asked if anybody left a tip on the credit card. It was going to
going
RJ's
to Diva.
whatever.
Oh, it was going to Impulse Project, probably.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't have.
Look at the amount of blush on my cheeks as Felix.
Yeah, I must have posted it on.
What year was
Wow.
this? 2018.
2018.
18.
My God,
October 2018.
this is taking you way too long. I'm going to pull this up momentarily.
Well, because yeah,
I don't think I posted it. I don't think I posted a group.
yeah.
on the
There's the group
Depod.
photo.
There it is. Willy Wonka and
Willy
Wreck-It
Wonka,
Ralph.
And the rest of
Willy,
it.
Willy Wonka and the arcade characters.
Yeah.
so good.
Man, yeah, I got the shit end of the stick there.
At least we
Why?
weren't. At least you weren't called a. What was I when they
You're toast.
the piece of toast?
Hey, toast. Move.
Hey,
Move
Toast.
over
What
here.
we should have done is I should have been Calhoun and you should have been Felix.
Who?
Which one's? Oh, that
Calhoun
would have
is
been
Jane
funny.
Lynch.
Oh yeah.
Jane Lynch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's
Should
great.
have put you on that bodysuit.
With a big gun. Tried to bring that into
Yeah.
the Halloween party. Would have gone over really well.
Super well.
Ay, ay.
Wow.
Well, all right. Let's go into our go orfs. This is the part of the show where we go off.
You're explaining this to Ian.
'Cause
He's watching. He's never seen the show before.
He's like, "What is this show?
What is this?
You guys talk about planes? That's what you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a travel
Yeah.
podcast? Absolutely.
Yeah, and we're
we
about to
do.
go off about
And-
them too.
Oh,
Okay, Casey, you're the
Casey,
hottest.
go
so
off.
go off.
Okay, so whenever you have that seat and you have to put all your stuff above you in the overhead compartments, and then sometimes it is behind you. And so that is unfortunate. So as soon as that little sign turns off that you can unbuckle your seatbelt and get up, I'm jumping up and I'm running to get my bags because I know that these fools are not gonna let me get my bags. So as soon as I jump up and I go to grab them, these two men just get in the aisle and start pushing me as I'm like getting my bag, and it's my heavy bag, it's my carry-on that is wheels. So I'm pulling it down and I drop it on one of them because you know what? You're pushing me. And I've got my big headphones in, you know, and I'm trying to just zone everything out.
Right.
And I'm like, oh,
3.5
and
foot tall Casey over here.
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, sorry, I'm just trying to get my stuff in. And then they're not moving. One of them's pushing me like this, and the other one is right in front of me. And they have physically gotten out of their space, and they are in the aisle now. And I say to this grown man, older than me, I say
Older
to him,
than
and I
22.
say, yes. I say, can I get around you really quick to go back to my seat? And he goes, excuse me? And he looks at me like I'm a fucking idiot. Like I just like came out of nowhere, and I'm taking the back of the plane, and I'm like, hey, let me get in front of you. And I said, I was grabbing my bag, and I'd like to get back to my seat so I can get out of your way. And he reluctantly lets me go back to my seat.
What was he
And I'm
doing? Just
like,
standing there?
yes. And I'm
Like
like
all
what is with
morons
these
do when
people
the
that like they take charge of the aisle to like not let people behind them get in front of them. Like it's like, but it's like, hey, you saw me have to stow my bags there, and you saw me jump out of my seat to go grab them so that this wouldn't be a problem. But now it's a problem because you made it a problem, and you are taking up the space. And yeah, I hit you with my bag because you're a fucking idiot. So it's like, you know what? Next time you're getting out of the plane, think about the poor little soul that had to stow her bag 3 behind her, and just let her get her damn bag, and she'll get out of your damn way.
Man, oh man.
I have been so mad about this since it happened. We're walking out of the airplane, and I'm just cussing, and I'm like, these people are so rude, blah blah blah, because it's just like it's just plain etiquette, you know? It's you help the person that had to stow their bag far away, because otherwise it's going to slow everyone down because I'm swimming upstream. Like, just let me get my damn bag.
Can we have a conversation about plane etiquette really quick? I know we've oft discussed this on the pod.
Go ahead.
Online.
We need to make an infographic on Canva. Like, these are the group chat rules for plane etiquette.
It's gonna be those 20 carousels.
I have seen heated debate as to whether or not you are allowed to recline your seat, or if you have to ask the person behind you if they're okay with it. I am of the opinion that that is what you're allowed to do. That's why every seat has a recline option. Right. But there are some people who think it's rude to the person behind you. But I don't. I think it's okay. Anyway, I'm positing this to the group.
Yeah. Well, and certain planes recline differently, because I did notice on the Delta plane, when it reclines, it doesn't really affect the person behind them that much. The way that it reclines is it kind of pushes the butt, like it pushes the butt forward and the back a little bit, but it doesn't affect your leg room or anything, or really like your bulkhead space. So it's like, that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay,
That's interesting. I feel like I've realized that it does. Like, I feel like it's not my leg space, but it's like my TV is now in my face.
Okay, here's what we'll do. Adam and Miranda, do you have go-offs right now or no?
I don't.
Do you want to do a go-off, and someone does, it is rude, and someone does, it's not rude?
A debate?
Yeah.
A speech and debate? Why don't you do
just do
that?
one.
Because you are both speech and debate people.
Yeah.
I did interp. I was an actor. I didn't debate.
We were, oh my God.
We were performers.
RJ. I forgot to tell you really quick. I'm going to go off about this.
Okay.
When my sister-in-law got engaged to her now fiance, her fiance is a twin. Never met this twin in my life. They do not look like twins whatsoever. It is the craziest thing. Everybody was like, Miranda, you need to meet, what's his name? I forget his name. Miranda, you need to meet him. Miranda, you need to meet him. I'm like, why? Oh my God, you're going to love him. Oh my God, you're going to love him. And I was like, a straight man? Really? Am I?
I love one straight man, and his name is Jace.
That's as much straight as I can handle in my life.
Yeah.
He is a speech coach in
In Minnesota, Apple Valley,
Not Apple Valley. Who was he? Lakeview. And I was like, oh
Okay.
my God, I hated those Lakeview motherfuckers. They were the worst. But he knew everything. He's like, oh, I've had like 12 students go to the national stage. And I was like, okay. I was like saying,
Okay,
or he was
work.
saying names that I was like, you are bringing up things I haven't heard of in years. Like you are pieces I haven't heard of in years. Like it was just the craziest thing.
Adam and Casey are like.
I'm just saying, no, it was just like so weird. Anyway.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
That was
That's
your
all.
go off.
No.
No.
I just
Okay,
got really
Adam.
passionate about that.
Adam, why don't you go off saying that it is your right to recline?
No,
Oh.
I don't want to.
Okay. Never mind then.
I don't feel that strongly about it
Oh.
because I
You
don't
brought it up.
recline that often.
I think. Well, first of all, it's airplane manufacturer's fault for cramming as many seats. Or
Sure.
it's airlines' fault
Yep.
to cram as many seats. If it's just a bus, if we are honoring the name Airbus, and it's just a bus. in
Well,
the
we're
air,
not honoring the name Boeing right now. Let's say that.
No.
then just take it away if it's just going to cause all that.
I never
You know,
recline my
Because
seat.
I never recline my seat,
I
unfortunately.
did recline my
never
seat on this
reclined.
flight, and maybe that's what got him mad, is that I reclined my seat.
Was he
Was-
right behind
was he
you?
right behind you?
I think so. It was all a blur. He might have been two behind me.
But
I'm-
then,
I don't-
but then he should know that that's your damn seat, and you're just trying to get back
Yeah.
to your seat.
he knows.
That's just my seat.
That's
My
my
seat.
That's where my keister was.
Yeah, I
Keister.
never recline my seat, but I'm not like, this asshole is reclining their seat. You know
I'm
what I mean?
usually in a seat that doesn't recline. Like we're usually in like the exit row of Southwest, and those don't recline. They don't want you
I-
to be comfortable on a Southwest exit row. They want you to get ready to work.
Ready? Yeah, you have to be at a minute's notice. They need you to. Yeah.
Ian says it depends on the time, length of flight, and also airline.
I agree.
Mhm.
I
I
agree.
think-
If it's a 45-minute jaunt from Orlando to Atlanta
Girl.
and you're reclining your seat, get the fuck out of here. If you're taking your shoes off on a flight from Atlanta to
Oh.
Orlando and vice versa,
don't-
No one
go
should be taking their
straight
shoes
to
off.
hell.
I
Never.
feel
Go
very strongly
straight
about that.
to hell.
Oh,
I
I
am-
watched a woman take her shoes off and set it on because her grandmother was in front of her, so she just set it on the armrest of the seat in front of her because it was her grandma, and her grandma was rubbing her grown woman foot.
Ew. Ew.
Yeah.
I have seen there is like something going around TikTok where it's like they're buying slings to put over the tray table, and they're putting the tray table up so it's a little like foot canopy thing.
Mhm.
No, for
And
what?
they're like,
Girl,
it's
just
so
do little
comfortable for me. And I'm like,
stretches.
you're yanking on the
You're-
seat in front of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Like,
Anything you're doing in that seat is
Girl.
affecting me.
I like the seats.
Affected
I like the planes
me.
that have the little foot things. Do you know what I'm talking
Yes,
about?
Yes,
the little
yes,
pedal.
The little like
like a
pew
like a
rest.
mega bus
Yeah.
situation.
Yes,
Isn't
like a
that
bus
like-
yes,
situation.
That's definitely like a frontier, isn't it?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
some
Because
of the,
I think
Yeah,
I think I
it
had
is.
it on a frontier.
I was
You
gonna
may
say,
not be
I
able
don't
to
know.
Not too much on
Your-
Miss
your
Frontier,
little feet will
okay?
be rested.
if I have
Frontier
to
is
pick-
also the one where Frontier Spirit. That's also the one where the tray table is this big. And so anytime we fold it down,
Adam
RJ and I
will-
always do this, but we're like, like we're pretending we're eating little food.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I will say, if I pack like little bedroom slippers, can I wear that?
No,
Well, if it's a 15-hour flight.
Unless you're flying
If
first class where they're also giving you silk pajamas. Like, no. I have a
Pajama.
go off.
Pajama.
I have a go off.
Go on.
Casey, Crazy Rich Asians is a romantic comedy. And the fact that
Oh,
you
here
do
we
not
go.
think it is a romantic comedy
What
film,
do you think it is, Casey?
It's
RJ
a
clearly wasn't
com
reading
more
the
it's
than
a
description.
comedy. It's a romantic. It is about a couple who then gets engaged at the end. The whole
But
thing.
they break up.
I
They
can't
break up, and
listen.
I
I
just feel
can't
like
listen
they
to
really-
this. I can't listen to this.
As a rom-com
I-
protector,
As a
As
rom-com protector, specifically as a Crazy Rich Asians protector, that is one of the best romantic comedies of
it's up there,
today.
girl.
It is so
Casey.
Casey, you are. Let's put it. I need to know if
I'll put a-
listeners.
Put a pin in it. I'll watch it again.
I need you to watch it again. And missed opportunity because it's the perfect plane fight.
I
you
would
watched it in the
actually.
plane?
I
film.
can't even believe, Casey, that you. If I had an argument that it was one over the other, I would say it's more rom than
Rom-com.
com.
Yes, I agree.
So that the fact that you say it's
But there's so much
less
in the
rom
movie where
is
they are like,
crazy to me.
there's so much in the movie where like she's like, I don't even know him anymore, and it just seems like they don't even like each other.
That's how rom-coms work, girly.
there's
Boy
gotta
gets
be
girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl
confrontation.
back.
Girl gets dead fish.
I don't feel
Girl
like
gets dead fish. Catch this, you
Girl
gold
goes
digging
to
motherfucker.
wedding. Girl goes to most iconic wedding that's ever been put to film.
Girl goes to wedding where they throw water on the floor.
Yeah,
Girl
they
has to-
throw it. They throw it right
Girl
on the
has
floor.
to beat mother-in-law in mahjong. That's how it works.
Tropes,
That's
of
the
romance.
game. That's the formula.
Oh my god, that's so crazy.
Miranda,
Whatever, bitches.
I do
whatever.
want you. What are you flying to Orlando?
Tomorrow morning.
Delta?
Casey,
Don't
what is your
find
favorite
yourself.
rom?
I won't have a TV from Des Moines to Atlanta, but I will,
Why
and that's
not?
not enough time to watch Mean Girls because they're smaller planes.
Oh,
I
You
can't
don't
believe
have the
any
little
of you
pullout?
actually use the TVs on. Well, I'm not
the
surprised
Delta.
Miranda
The
does.
Delta. I love the Delta.
Miranda
love
loves.
these.
Miranda just loves to watch anything that's just
It's
placed
put
in
in
front of her.
You put it in
Uh-huh.
front of me. How fucking easy is that? Oh, a film
Yeah.
I've watched 17 times. Play.
Done.
Something I like. I watch Wish.
The problem is Miranda
gonna
doesn't want to
download
watch
it.
anything on her
Let's do
iPad
it.
because she would have to choose something
And
in advance to watch. My
Oh my
God,
God.
imagine the
iPad
pressure.
is charging, and I'm like, what do I? And I'm like, what kind of mood am I gonna be in? It all
But-
depends.
The
Is it
same
like-
mood you're always in.
The
Is it
parent
like
chat.
American? Is it like American United or Southwest, where if you connect to their Wi-Fi, you can just access the movies on the app?
All of them you
Um,
should be able to.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay. 'Cause
Delta.
then
yeah,
that way, if you
Delta-
don't have the screen, you can just. But I guess if you have the
No,
screen,
it's not
might
as
well
easy for
just-
me. It's not as easy for me. I need it up there. I need them to give me every single time their cheap.
So Miranda
Horrible
is
headphones.
celebrating this news that Disney Plus is rolling out channels. She is thrilled at the prospect of turning on Disney Plus and it just being she just
Wait, I
watches
missed
whatever's
one.
on. Oh yeah, girl. They're bringing back
They're
they're
Like Disney
reinventing
Channel?
cable. No, they're
they're
reinventing cable.
It's
So
like,
you're going to get on Disney Plus.
It'll be
and
like
then
when
there
you
will
go
be
to a Disney
Star
resort.
Wars channel, Marvel channel, blah blah blah, and then
Paramount
you'll just
Plus
turn it on, and it'll be like a random Marvel movie's playing until
Oh,
the next Marvel movie.
Baby girl, I am into it.
I know
Do you know how
are.
many Marvel movies I watched lately because they've just been on?
they're just on TV. See, if they put the new Mickey Mouse cartoons on there, bitch,
Ooh, yes.
that's gonna be on every day. I don't know what to say.
I mean,
yet.
that's
It's
that's
good.
It's
on
just playing.
in the room.
That's on in the rooms.
That's
or
Oh.
that what's her name, Sarah?
no,
The-
not Sarah.
Stacey.
No,
Stacy.
Stacey.
Stacey.
I don't know. They
Sarah.
don't play her anymore. We're actually
No,
staying
she's
on
gone.
property for part of the stay, which is the first time in
Which-
a long time. We
which
will be at
resort?
Riverside, Port Orleans.
You're not doing
Riverside.
Coronado. You're not doing Grandestino.
No, that is our favorite. It is our
That is your favorite.
But no,
Moderate.
the
Favorite
rate I
moderate.
wanted was not available for that. This was a
Miss
fine rate
Grandestino.
here.
For some
and the
reason, I
Three
thought you were at
Rivers.
Riviera.
Oh my god, in my dreams. No, I can't afford that.
Oh, I was like, well, that's why I was confused as well. But you know.
Oh, thank you for what's the word?
Diagnosing.
Diagnosing me.
Diagnosing analysis paralysis. Is that like what? Because
That's
what
me,
I
my
do
babe.
is I'll go through all of the shows that's available on the Delta TV or whatever, and then I decide to and then I'm just gonna play Switch. I don't think I'm gonna watch anything.
But you,
I just wanna
like
see
to
what
have
they're
it play.
offering.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to have it play. And
The
like
problem
I have to
is,
play
like
if I'm gonna
some
sleep.
movies. Some movies I want to see, but I don't want to watch them on a plane.
That's not
That's
what.
There-
There's
true.
good plane movies, but they're
these
not.
people
There's
when
usually
when Saltburn came out and all these people were watching Saltburn on the flights, like
That's crazy.
that's plain etiquette. Add it to our rules. Like you have if
Don't
if it's
you need
something
to
new,
be
you have to know
respectful
that
of.
it. Yeah.
and don't watch that gay.
That
Don't watch
smut.
the gay smut
Yeah,
next to that
smut.
lady, and then she
Dirty.
gets mad at you and you have to go pee at the end of the flight. Yeah.
Or do.
Mhm.
Depends on
Or
how nice
do.
the lady is.
All right. Well,
RJ, it's time to go off.
I don't really have any. I think all of that
Summarized, covered it.
summarized how I'm feeling. All right. Well, girlies, don't forget Close Friends is our Patreon. $5 a month. You get 3 bonus episodes. You got our deep
You didn't
dive
want to
on-
ask me if I ever go off?
Adam,
Oh.
do you have a go off?
I do.
Okay.
Oh.
Go off.
This past week, our office reopened and I have redecorated my desk. Okay? Fine. I am here to talk about the dearth of
Not dearth.
dearth.
Say it again. Thank you.
Dearth.
One more time.
Dearth. There people are very comfortable calling way too many shades of pink. Okay?
Yeah.
We have as a culture understood, maybe not as good as other cultures, because like in Russian they actually have 2 different words for the color blue depending on whether it's light or dark, but we know that blue comes in many flavors. You have a navy blue, you have a sky blue, you have so many
Royal.
blues I need not mention. Cornflower blue, You have-
Cerulean.
cerulean, okay? Incredible amount of blues, and each of them a specific shade, to which I can say blah blah blah,
Sky blue, light
turquoise,
blue, dark blue.
and
yeah.
you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay,
Mhm.
this is the setup at my desk. Now, yes, it's cute, so go ahead and tell me it's cute because it's cute. But every one of these places just called their item pink, and it's not great in this photo, you can't totally tell, but there are like 6 different pink colors happening there. We need to really start specifying what's going on here.
Yeah.
Because I would say the desk mat is probably the closest to what I would be like, that's pink.
True pink.
Yeah. There was some hot pink stuff that I could have bought, but it wasn't labeled hot pink. It just said pink. And I'm like, no. That's a different level of pink. You know what I'm saying? Fuchsia is... Oh, I think we have the... Yeah, I have the
different
same...
keyboard, but this
Different keyboard,
and the
same
same
exact...
desk pad that you
Yes.
can't see because it's on me
Yeah.
right now. But yes.
So anyway, and then I had to go with rose gold for my
Accent.
kitty, which doesn't really make catty. Sorry, not kitty, not pussy.
What's
Sorry,
Sorry, not pussy.
which doesn't totally fit because I don't have any other rose gold. Because the laptop stand is a metallic gold or metallic, but it's not really rose gold. Anyway, all that to be said, it's just very hard to find pink things, and I would have assumed in a post Barbie movie era
Oh,
where
girl.
everyone was like, "Oh, we got to bring pink back," that I would be like, have so many options, and yet there was a dearth. Okay, so that's my go off. Pink is a very specific shade, and it has just as many flavors as
So
blue.
specify.
So specify,
Just
her
say
girl.
it.
Yeah.
And yet, once again, the plight of women
Yeah.
and people who
Exactly.
like pink.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And as
Thank you
men,
for
we need to
fighting our
we need
fight.
Yeah.
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 It's cute. I don't like that photo actually because the room looks a little yellow. I think it like yellowed in the photo, so it looks a little weird, but it's really cute in person.
The lighting did it.
The
The
lighting.
lighting is
The
everything.
lighting.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Well, great. Well, great.
RJ, did you want to talk about your foot?
No.
Oh, I saw.
But what about your gout?
But what about your gout?
It wasn't gout this time. It was
Wasn't
just,
gout. I just
fun foot problems.
like overdid it maybe or something. So it's fine now.
It's probably
So-
from outing your old trainer.
Oh.
It was
It's a
yes.
curse.
She cursed
I
me.
I listened to that on the plane and I was
Gooped.
shocked, gooped, gagged.
Gooped, gagged.
Casey, Miranda has not listened to our McAllister's Deli episode.
because
She
because
has
but
Casey,
we
you
decided
never got-
because
you-
didn't put
You never
Patreon
set up
on
the
my
Patreon on her
Spotify.
Spotify.
She doesn't know how to do
She doesn't
it.
know how to do
I don't know how to
it.
listen
Oh,
to
no.
us. How do I listen?
Do you
to
listen
us?
to? You don't listen to podcasts, so it doesn't matter if you're listening to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you add an RSS feed to Spotify though?
No, but you can connect your Spotify to your Patreon. But
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, this is confusing to me. Maybe I'll find
anyway,
somebody in Orlando
if
who
you
can
know
do
how
it
to
for
make
me.
it work, you can pay $5 to get that amazing
Mhm.
McAllister Zelly deep dive episode.
And what are we getting this week?
This
What am I-
week
what
you
am I
are getting
tomorrow.
Yes, Casey, tomorrow you are getting a Trader Joe's grocery haul. We talk about
A chat.
A Costco.
Costco moments. We talk about Adam's local grocery in South Bend and another white woman giving him
More suburban
more
white
suburban white
women.
Oh.
giving him
Casey,
giving him
Ugh.
the
nonsense.
plight
Giving you the
continues for
business?
me. Oh my God, I gotta get to the Philippines where I know there will be no suburban white women there.
Well, I
Uh,
can't
I was
donate
gonna
to
say
the
I was
family.
supposed to
Donate
go
to
on
this
that
high school.
vacation, man. Anyway,
Well, Adam has to scout it out first to make sure that
I gotta make sure it's safe
That's
for
true.
you.
Thank
it's
you.
safe
I
for the
appreciate that.
I don't want you to end up in a $180 massage
Massage.
situation.
I appreciate that. Honestly.
And you know what? It's gonna be my mom. I'm Miranda. Come here. $40.
It's
That's
so
honestly-
funny
I'm
though
like, yeah,
because if
I'll-
someone was
whatever you
like,
need.
"I'll give you a $40 massage for an hour," I immediately would have been like, "That's not real. There's no
Ew,
way
way
that's real."
Yeah.
Well, lesson learned, girls.
Alas.
And then
Lesson
at the
learned.
end of at the end of the month, Miranda will be giving us her deep dive into her Run
My
Disney.
It'll be
First
Miranda.
round
It'll be
Disney
Miranda's time of
review.
the month. Yeah. So
Nope, that's this weekend when I'm running the 10K. Thank you.
Use it.
Thank
let
you
that,
so much
let
for
that
that.
let
energy
flow
let the,
push you through.
Great. That's usually what happens. Amazing. So
Wow.
great.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And
well,
you can pay
everyone-
$5 a month for more of that personal
more of that.
information.
Isn't that great?
For more of
Wow.
the Schlotsky's dinner,
The Schlotsky
and
saga.
the
Uh-huh.
Schlotsky saga.
I'll
Or,
figure out how to.
you know.
I think Jace may be a patron of some things. Maybe he can get it for me.
Oh, great. Maybe
Great.
Jace making a Patreon. He's got $5 to spare.
Yeah, he's
I'm
got
sure.
$5
I'll
throw our
ask
way.
him. I'll
Girl.
ask him.
So we've
Jeez.
got. What did we say? If we get 100 Patreons, we'll do the Casey Way saga.
I'll do the Casey way. I'll
yeah.
get down to Orlando.
We're flying in Orlando. We've got 38 right now. So
Come on.
So,
Tell
come
all your
on.
friends.
Tell all your
62.
friends.
Friends.
Share.
It's gonna be fun.
I will say that reel got way more views than most of our reels do.
See, the girls want.
What
Us-
wheel was it? What wheel was
I
it?
explained.
What
We're
wheel
talking
was
about
it? The
Casey
wheel
Way.
was it?
Oh.
Was
What wheel was it?
The wheel was
The
it?
wheel.
Which
It's
wheel
a
was it?
wheel. Which wheel?
It's a wheel. All right, girls.
Okay.
Miranda, have a safe travel.
Safe
Casey,
travel.
Sorry, where are you going again?
Keep an eye out on close friends. I'll post on stores.
Mhm.
Stores.
And don't forget to read the group chat. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Discovering voices, building worlds.